Today's topic is with Numeric, and Josh Knox from Numeric is presenting to us the reasons why Stripe has been shutting down and the problem with your business and cash flow related to that. So Josh is going to talk to us more about what's going on with Stripe shutting down businesses and restricting businesses to be able to take payments. But the key here is to educate you on how important payments are for your business. They're literally the lifeblood of your business because cash flow is needed to keep that going. So I'm going to hand it over to Josh. Josh is the CEO of Numeric. Numeric is one of the companies we have acquired a stake in. We believe in the product and the service that these guys are providing here, and wanted to bring Josh to sort of educate you on this process to learn more about payments and how payments can actually affect your business, especially if you get your account restricted. With that, I'll hand it over to Josh.
Hey, thanks, Beyond. Hey, everybody. Glad to be with you. So today, what we're going to cover is why Stripe shuts down accounts, why you could be next, what you can do about it, and really when you should take action. And you're going to find from me, I'm not a fear monger by any stretch of the imagination. I am a realist, though. And so when we get to the part on why you could be next, I'm just going to be very real and very frank with you. But having said that, let's get started and talk about why Stripe shuts down accounts. So Stripe shuts down accounts based on risk and profitability. Stripe runs a business model that is called a PayFac, or a payment facilitator. A payment facilitator is renting you their merchant account. It would be the same as if you went to Avis and rented one of their cars. It is their property, and they have the right to operate it in whatever means they see necessary. And when they do that, they absorb the risk for that account. Let me explain. If you have a credit card, you can go out and you can spend money on that credit card. Let's say you have a $10,000 balance. You can go out, spend money, go Christmas shopping, whatever, and you're responsible for that bill. Now, if you stop paying that bill, then they can come after you for collections, but they're out the 10 grand. They've already sent that money to the merchant that you bought the product from. That merchant deposited that money because they delivered the product, and so on and so forth. On a merchant account, they're exposed doubly. If you're given $10,000 as a limit to accept payments, and you accept those payments for a product, and then you don't deliver that product, now they're out for 20. They're out for the 10 that was sent in for the product that you as a merchant withdrew, and then they got to refund the 10 because nobody ever got their product. So what happens in merchant processing, which is what Stripe does, is they've now elevated their risk. And by elevating their risk, they decrease their profitability. It is just how merchant services work. So over the last 10 years or so, Stripe as a business model has been saying to anyone and everyone, we want your business. They're the American Idol of payments. Everybody come audition, give us a couple pieces of information. We'll let you take payments for your products. But what's happening now is that model is shifting for them, and they need to decrease their risk and increase their profitability because they're going to go public. So let me give you a couple examples of what happens for them to decrease their risk and increase their profitability. So let's talk about a client. I'll call him Mr. A. He runs a coaching and a SaaS business. Okay, he's done about 6 million in sales over the last 7 years. He has a lifetime chargeback rate below 2%. And even when he does have chargeback challenges, he wins about 30% of them. And what did Stripe do? Not only did they cut him off, but they actually banned him from taking payments because they said he's such a risk at 2%. Okay. Now we have a solution for him. We're going to get him back up and running. He's going to be just fine. But the amount of stress that it has caused this client of ours is almost, you really can't put a lot of words to it. It shut down $1 million a year business, right? He keeps growing. It shut down his SaaS clients. Everything that he's doing to serve his clients is now shut down until we get him back up and running, okay? So that is that is Stripe lowering their quote risk, right? They couldn't have 2%. That's just in their mind way too much. And so they shut them off. And in the example of Mr. B, hey, he runs a financial services coaching business. He was doing about $80,000 a month in volume. He was actually paying 3.6%, not 2.9%. So let's have that conversation when it comes down to it. Kicked off of Stripe in 2022. And then came on board right after that, and he's been paying about 1.5% since he came on board. Now, easy enough to say, let me show you one of his Stripe statements before he came on board. If you do the math on this, this is where you're going to see the 3.6% in cost. And then this is what he's doing with us now. Okay, he had 110,000 in volume. So not only did his business grow after coming with us, but we reduced his cost significantly. Let me go back to that last slide. $3,200 in costs on just about 90,000 with us, 110,000 and $126 in costs, $127, right? But kicked off of Stripe. It was too much for them. Why? He's got a risky business, and I'll get into a little bit of what causes some of that risk, or how Stripe views that risk for their books. But I wanted to share with you really quickly another one. This is a very good client of ours. They've been with us for more than a year. They run a Facebook ads agency, and then they offer SaaS as well as part of that. They were doing just about $8,000 a month. So not a tremendous amount of volume, and Stripe kicked him off. Now he's consistently doing over 100K a month. Stripe kicked him off in April of last year. He came on in May, and he's been with us ever since. Saves about 90% of his costs. So what is happening is Stripe is shifting all of that high-risk business out of their strategy, and it's left business owners like you and I paying that price. It is just a strategy for them. By going initial public offering or IPO, they're cleaning up their books, they're increasing their profitability so that when an investor looks at it, they see a good business that they want to invest in. Now, why could you be next? Okay, this isn't onesie twosies. I hear it every week. Okay, I'm going to share another story in just a minute about somebody that I just spoke with on Tuesday. But I hear it every week from people that are getting kicked off of Stripe. They're getting the email, "Hey, we're shutting you down. Hey, you're too risky for us. Hey, we can't keep working with you." Right. So what I want to do is talk to you about why you could be next. Again, I am not a fear monger. I'm just a realist. Okay. This data is out there for you to see. This is why you can be next. In 2022, 4.5 million frozen accounts on Stripe. Okay. For some context, there are 40,000 agency owners in high level. Okay. I call them, there's two groups, front end and background. Agencies then resell to the back end group, right? There are about 2 million sub accounts total. So the agencies, the 40,000 agencies are reselling to about 2 million sub accounts in the back end. This is double that amount. They could have shut down the entire system. Okay. This year, where are they at? 5.5 million frozen accounts. So my question to you is if your account was frozen, okay, and you had no cash flow, what would happen? What would happen to your business? Because cash is like oxygen. It does me no good to breathe tomorrow if I need to breathe today. And in business, if I don't have cash running through my business, and I need that today to pay my employees, to keep the lights on, to keep GHL running, to run ads for my clients, to build websites, to do everything that we do as agency owners, if I don't have that cash coming through the business, how long can I survive? Most small business owners don't have cash that can last them past 180 days, let alone 30 days. And this is what Stripe's doing. So let me tell you about the conversation that I had on Tuesday with a GHL agency. They have 700 subscribers in their agency. And on Tuesday, it had already been 2 days since they had got the email from Stripe. They got it on Sunday afternoonish. Hey, we can no longer do business with you. You're too high risk for us. We might consider you're keeping your business, but we're going to need A through Z from you. Okay. But at the end of the day, that's 700 subscriptions. Now, just do some simple math. If they were selling everything for $97 a month, they're not. They're selling it for more. That's almost 70,000 in cash that's going to get turned off in the next 10 days. That's it. It's over. They've got a CTO, a CMO, a CFO. They've got all these salaries of all these employees that are going to have no ability to pay them. Okay. So again, what would happen even if you had 10, 20, or 30 subscribers to your business of all that cash flow shut off? Let me tell you what's going to happen for this new client of ours. They filled out their application today. I've already looked over it. We're going to be totally fine. We're going to get them onboarded. And then we're going to do a one-on-one guided migration. So one of the big things is when you get kicked off of Stripe, knowing that you have a stepping off point. It's entirely possible to step out of Stripe and into Numeric without having to recollect payment data, right? Without having to call your customers and say, hey, I'm so sorry, I need to get XYZ from you so I can keep serving you in my business. So we're going to take those 700 subscriptions, we're going to move all that client data, all their card data into our system, and they're going to hit the ground running, okay? Now, if you find yourself in a position where Stripe has sent you the email, I hope it doesn't happen to you. I truly don't. But when it does, okay, what can you do about it? Now, what you can do about it is use Numeric to get a fully underwritten merchant account. Here's why you want that. Stripe is a PayFac. They rent you the ability to take payments. They're renting you their merchant account. We get you your own. It's the difference between renting a bank account and having your own bank account, right? You wouldn't want somebody just taking your cash from you. And that's what Stripe does. So when we get you a fully underwritten merchant account, there are two ways I know how to lose that account. One, you don't pay your bill, which means you probably don't have sales coming in, unfortunately, and therefore bills pile up and you don't have the money to pay it. The other way, you have to commit fraud. You would legitimately have to commit fraud, take payments in, lie that you were going to deliver them, never deliver them, and then all of a sudden everybody under the sun charges back because they never got it, and now you've committed fraud. In the case of Stripe, right, I like to tease people, if you sneeze the wrong way, they probably are thinking you're too high a risk. You might have something that's contagious. Your business might shut down. We can't handle that. Therefore, let's wave bye-bye to one another. Now, how do you get a fully underwritten merchant account? In about as little time as an hour, just your time, okay? Then what I can do is I can not only get you a fully underwritten merchant account, but I can eliminate 50 to 90% of those credit card costs that you're paying to Stripe. And I can make it so secure that you'll never lose your ability to take payments again. Again, don't pay your bill, commit fraud. Those are the two ways that I know of to lose a merchant account. And we've got more than 150 clients. And I've seen a few people lose their account because they didn't pay their bill. But honestly, at the end of the day, they didn't have a business. Those are the two ways. So we'll make it so secure and support you so well that you'll never get an email that says, sorry, we've changed our business strategy. We just can't do this anymore. It's not you, it's us, right? They're breaking up with you. So then the question I always ask people is, well, when should you take action? What you want to do is take action before you get these, okay? These are actual things we've seen from clients. We can no longer support your business. Hey, by the way, due in 14 days, provide additional info because the restriction's coming. And this is no guarantee, by the way, that if you provide it, they're going to want to keep the business. Because if you are selling a digital product, if you are, which is a coach, a consultant, an agency that provides ad buying, all this digital product that is future deliverable. So what I'm basically describing to you is anybody that is selling SaaS, anybody that is an agency owner, while you deliver a phenomenal product for your clients, that is too high a risk for Stripe these days. And so what you want to do is take action before you get this. Get yourself in a position where you have a sure foundation to be able to always take payments. And then on top of that, right, you want to be able to scale your business. Another thing that Stripe considers high risk is you do too well in business, okay? You launch your SaaS, you've grown your group of people, they love you, you provide an amazing service, and you have a great month, and all of a sudden you're like, this is awesome, this is everything I've been working for, I can support my clients, I can give them everything they need, their business grows, and Stripe goes, you grew too fast for us, we don't like it. How is that? Come on, everybody's running a business here, everybody's working hard to support their clients, we do the same thing. So take action before you get these. Now, if you think that's the worst thing that can happen to you, let's say you don't get kicked off of Stripe. Here's what else is going to happen to you, okay? This just came out about 4 weeks ago. The credit card companies, by the way, credit card companies as a whole for the last 40-ish years, they raise their rates biannually. They've never decreased their rates. There is no point in history where they've decreased their rates. And these rate increases that are coming are primarily going to target online purchases. Guess what? That's you and me. Okay. So it's not just a matter of instability. It's this rising cost, right? It is this cutting off of cash flow. All of these things lead up to an unstable foundation in your business when it comes to payments. Because as Bayon said in the beginning, right? It's the lifeblood. You can have the most amazing marketing, the most amazing website. Your team can be incredible closers. All the Zoom calls can go really well. And at the end of the day, if you can't take a payment, it doesn't matter. Because if money's not coming in, then the closers quit and everything goes south, right? So how can Numeric help? Which is really what we want to talk to you about. One of the things that we can do is help you migrate, right? So do you have some existing subscriptions on Stripe? We can absolutely export securely all the Stripe data. If you've got 100 customers or if you've got 1,000 customers, we know exactly how to request that from Stripe, get it out of there. All your Johns and your Janes and your Barrys and all their Visa cards and Amex cards, all that comes over. We import that, we can see them on our side and we go, look, there's John and he belongs to this subscription. 2 clicks. Done, moved. No disruption to John's life whatsoever. You keep providing your amazing service. And on top of it, save a whole bunch of money. Okay. So we can do that for you. Do you sell SaaS? No problem. Okay. We have our own SaaS configurator. You can create unlimited SaaS products. You can set snapshots, set permissions, set roles. You can revoke access for non-payment. You can provide unlimited plans with unlimited configurations in our SaaS configurator, right? So as soon as somebody buys your SaaS product, let's just say it's for the AI chatbot. You wanted to sell a SaaS plan just for the AI chatbot, you could do it. And then it'll automatically send them the credentials and everything so they can log in and use your system the way you set it up for them. Now, do you want to keep all your automations? Again, no problem. Everything that we do on our end pushes data to the GHL side, which allows you to keep your automations. We make 1 or 2 tweaks so that those automations fire off of the purchase. Nothing really big to change there. You don't have to redo anything. You go to the top, you change the trigger, you're done. Okay? How about sending quotes without having to send an invoice after you've sent the quote? Our quote system lets you create the quote, send it out, put it in a nice fancy formatted email. They click the link, accept the quote, immediately becomes a payable invoice. Boom. You've now just cut down on some of your team's time to keep following up with folks. How about editing subscriptions after somebody's already signed up? So this is one of the big things that people have to go out of GHL for, back into Stripe. In our system, you simply click edit subscription. And then if you want to change the product that they're subscribed to, upgrade or downgrade them, you can do that. If you want to change the date of next billing, you can do that. If you want to change the price for an individual person, you can do that. All of that stuff exists in our system. If somebody came in just as a contact and didn't buy something from you, but let's say you had a really great phone call with them and you converted them on that call, you could add a subscription without their card being on file. They will automatically send them a payment template to pay through and add them to that subscription. So all of that stuff exists. One of the other things that people ask us is, and people ask in the GHL group all the time, do you have coupons on recurring products? 100%. You can do coupons on recurring products, one-time products. All of that exists inside of the numeric system. Now, one of the big things that happens with SaaS, right, is you all of a sudden start getting all of these memberships or these subscribers coming in, which is fantastic. But invariably in business and in our own personal lives, a credit card expires or it doesn't have enough money on it at one time, which causes, a decline, right? What we do is we automatically retry all those payments for you. And then if they ultimately fail, we let your customer manage their own payment details. So we send them out an email that says, hey, by the way, we tried a couple of times, your payment failed. Will you just click this link and go update it? And they can go do that for you. Now, that's everything. Well, it's not everything that Numeric can do, but that's most of everything that we get questions about. And the last thing that I kind of want to share with you is, how about just having payment support without going into an AI or a chat bot? How about being able to call somebody? I don't just do webinars, I take phone calls. I jump on Zoom, I help my clients figure out how to do this with a payment or that with a payment, or what happens if a chargeback comes in? What should I do, Josh? I'll jump on the phone with you. So you're going to get a more secure and stable foundation for your payments at the end of the day for less cost. You're going to have better software support, and you're going to be able to talk to somebody. And at the end of the day, right, that was one of the great things that we found out about partnering with Extendly, is that they'll get on the phone with you, they'll help you. And so that's why a lot of what we do aligns together, because we have a similar philosophy. I want you truly to be successful. I want you to have a gangbusters day and do 10,000 in a day, 20,000 in a day, without the fear of you being shut down. I want to see you grow, and we know how to do that with payments. We know how to put that architecture in place so that you don't have to worry about getting an email that says, hey, we're sorry, it's not you, it's us, but we got to end the relationship. Good luck to you, right? So at the end of the day, what you're going to get from Numeric with our payment system and our support is the SaaS configurator, recurring coupons. You're going to save a ton of money. We don't have any setup fees. We don't have any commitment. Okay, I'm not going to lock you into anything that says, hey, thanks for signing that contract, just keep paying us and we'll not do a good job. Okay, it doesn't exist for us. We have credit card and ACH or e-check payments, 1- and 2-step order forms. You guys can read the list. We do our best to give you every tool that you could possibly need when it comes to payments. And at the end of the day, that's what you need to run your business. You need something that's secure and reliable to do so. So having said that, the last thing we're going to share with you is you can get started by going to fill out a simple form on this page. It's a handful of questions, maybe 7 or 8. And then from there, we'll take care of you. What we ultimately do is get you a fully underwritten merchant account. We help you with all the onboarding and hold your hand every step of the way so that you don't lose money, lose sleep, and you can keep running your business. So with that being said, I think there's a bunch of questions that have come in. I've noticed the number tick up over time, and that always makes me like, hey, maybe we should answer them as we go.
Yeah, I'll help you go through them so we can get them.
Okay.
Care of. So the question that keeps popping up over and over again that I want everyone to hear about is, will it work in Canada?
It will work in Canada. It's a different cost structure, still savings over Stripe, but it will work in Canada. Yep.
All right, fantastic. And before this question pops up, New Zealand, Australia, UK, and Europe, that's in process, right, Josh?
So we're running a small beta in the UK, New Zealand, and Australia right now. We saw a few spots available for them, but the beta is open, and we're moving forward. We should have full integration in Q4.
All right, fantastic. Okay, and API access with other platforms besides GHL, for example, Zapier.
Oh, meaning you want to, well, we don't currently have an open API. It's not because we don't want to ever have one. We just haven't built it yet. But you can get data out of our system with a webhook. So you could connect it to a Zapier for sure, or Make.
Okay. Do you need an EIN for US or an LLC?
No, you could file as a sole prop. Mhm.
Yeah. So an EIN, a corp or an LLC is not necessary. You can come in as a sole prop as well.
100%. You can come in as a brand new business. Mhm.
Fantastic. So one thing I want to clarify for everyone before we get to the rest of the questions is you've always, whenever we've talked, Josh, and the metrics that we've looked at, it's about the $5,000 mark, right? Where if someone's accepting about $5,000 in payments, Numeric becomes extremely cheaper than alternatives like Stripe.
Yeah, right at about 5K, you're going to save at least 60% over Stripe.
All right, there we go.
That's correct. Yep.
So if it's more, if you're accepting more than 5K, it's definitely a no-brainer. But right at 5K, you start to see about 60% savings there.
Correct. Yeah. After 5K, like when you get honestly, when you start getting 10K and beyond, it gets kind of ridiculous how much you'll save. But as I had alluded to before, that one client that got kicked off the Stripe that was doing about 80K a year and then grew to over 100, he pays about 0.15% ish every month. That's fairly consistent with him over the last 6 months. So that's, do the math on 2.9, even though when he came to me, he was 3.6 and higher on some of his statements. So you're looking at 90+% savings. Mm-hmm.
Okay, fantastic. Length of time to receive payment after a client pays. So how many days processing before the bank actually distributes it to their bank account?
Yeah, great question. Usually 2 business days. I have a few people that have been with me long enough that have been able to get to next business day.
Okay.
Yeah, but you typically it starts at 2 business days. So if you take a payment on Monday, it settles on Monday, depending upon your bank, because not all banks communicate the exact same time frames or display received funds in the exact same time frames. But if you got paid on Monday and it settled on Monday, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning, the funds are available.
All right, fantastic. So typically 2 business days is all it takes, which is not too long at all. How long does it take to get approved?
No, I could spend 30 to 45 minutes with you on the phone. So that's your time, right? Collect all the information I need to get you approved. You get off the phone with me, I go to work for you, and I call you 2 days later and say you're approved. Well, all the while you're just doing what you would regularly be doing.
So essentially 30 to 40 minutes of your time, and you do whatever else needs to be done, and then you get approved in a matter of a day or 2.
Yeah, so let me expand on that a touch. Stripe's asking for the same information we're asking for. They ask for it differently than we do. We want to know all of it up front, because then we can make a really good decision really fast that we want to do business with you for a long, long time. Stripe wants 5 pieces of information up front to see if they can collect fees immediately. Because what happens in the speed of Stripe is they want you to come on board, give them 5 pieces of info, let you take payments, then wait 7 to 10 days to make that first deposit. All the while they've been collecting fees the whole time. So we ask for the same information. We just go about it differently.
All right, fantastic. Is there an automatic push to my bank account? So I'm assuming this means once the money is collected, does it get automatically deposited into the bank account? The answer is yes, right?
Yep, everything we automatically settle everything, right? So I'm not going to get into the details of the banking world, but payments come in, they get settled, money moves around the globe. It automatically settles in our system and therefore automatically deposits.
Fantastic. Can you send invoices through this platform like Stripe? Yes, you can.
Yep.
I'm going to let you explain a little bit more. Quotes and estimates as well, right?
Yeah. So in our system, everything in our system is self-contained, right? So think of the GHL left menu. They've got a payments thing. We put in our payments. Then you run all of your products, all of your payment forms, coupons, taxes, all of your contacts. You can see all of your subscription. Everything lives inside of the Numeric software. And inside of that is invoices as well as quotes and estimates, right? So let's talk about invoices. We pull in all the data from your contacts in GHL. So you pick a contact, you pick a product or multiple products, you click save. You can set the system to auto send on save, or you can not auto send and review it, maybe make some adjustments, change some line items. But once you're ready to send it, just send it and it'll go. They get a link to make payment. You can format that email however you want it to look, so it's completely custom to you and your brand. They get a choice to pay between credit card and ACH, and boom, paid. And then it's all tracked, of course. Now, quotes operate super similar to invoices in that you pick a contact, you pick products, you make adjustments to those products. Maybe you want to add a signature to all of it, including invoices. You could basically configure the invoice or the quote however you want to do it. On quotes, when you send it out, it gives the customer an option to accept or reject it. Just click a button. If they accept it, then it automatically turns into an invoice right in front of their eyes, and they can pay it right then and there. Now, obviously, you can put terms in that, due, net 30, whatever, but it automatically turns into a payable invoice right then.
And that's what you want. You want them to accept a quote and pay it right then. It's not accepted until it's paid in my terms.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Michael asked, can we use this on our client side? For example, can we, I'm assuming he's asking about white label. Yep, he's asking about what, can this be white labeled and used to onboard their customers?
You can absolutely white label this. The login screen can have your logo. It can have your name on it. You can change the domain names to yours. When the customer logs into the member portal, it's your domain name. You can white label this. Yep.
Yep. So you can white label this, and then there is a pass-through feature as well, right? In terms of the commission earned from their client. There's an affiliate play.
Yeah, 100%. We made this so you can monetize payments in your agency, right? Everything else you can monetize. You can monetize Twilio, you can monetize Mailgun, you can monetize AI, you name it, right? We wanted to make payments the same. And we wanted everybody to have the opportunity to add another layer of stickiness to the SaaS that they offer, right? So Bayant and I happened to be in Tampa together a couple of weeks ago. Chase Buckner was there. He shared with everybody in the room about the churn rate. So agency churn rates somewhere in the neighborhood of north of 70%, if I remember right. But software churn rates are 5%, right? Which is the whole reason behind high level. You add payments to that, and your churn goes down even more. Because it's sort of like bundling your home and auto, right? So now they got their software that helps run their business, and you add payments to it, and now you as an agency can monetize it. Fantastic.
Yeah, and that makes that makes your client super sticky to not moving away from doing business with you, because you've literally got their payments tied to your process. So you'll always have the fee that you're receiving from transactions with them. All right, bunch more questions are coming in. What is the difference between a fully underwritten merchant account and using Stripe?
Yeah, so Stripe is a payment facilitator. So they were granted their own merchant account from Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Discover. That's how the industry works. They then were granted the ability to essentially create sub-accounts to that merchant account. So they're leasing you or renting to you their merchant account. That's the biggest difference. So they own and control all of it. It's not your merchant account. You basically have a login and you can see the funds that are coming into your business. But the way it really works is when somebody makes a payment through Stripe, it actually goes into their bank account. They reconcile that every day, which has got to be mind-numbing, and therefore take the risk because it's going into their account. Then they send it to you. Whereas the way this works is money gets transferred through the processing side of transactions, the banking side, and it just gets deposited into your account. It doesn't go anywhere else. It goes from your customer's account to your account. There's no middleman there in terms of the merchant account. So a fully underwritten merchant account is something that you own and control.
All right, there you go. Okay, SaaS rebilling, when is it coming?
Yeah, great question. So there's two ways to think about this. The first way is that whole walleting feature that exists in GHL where it rebills right every $10. The other way to think about this is bill your customer once a month as a product for using SMS, right? Or Mailgun or even AI. So clients that move over to us that have had a challenge with Stripe, and so they move off of Stripe completely, they do that. They have a SaaS product, and then they have a product for SMS. They have a product for Twilio, right? They have line item products for each of what they're reselling because it is based on usage, right? So that's how we do it one way. The other way we do it is if you don't have a difficulty with Stripe right now, it is entirely possible to keep that open and just rebill through Stripe because it tends to be a lower dollar amount. Our build out for it's going to be in Q4. You will be able to rebill for Twilio through Numeric, just like the wallet system, right? That exists in GHL in Q4. Yep. But there is a way around it now, and it works. It works just fine.
Fantastic. All right. Time frame on how we can update the subscription from our own code.
So let's get some clarity on that one. Time frame to update a subscription. Meaning if you migrate a subscription from Stripe to Numeric, do we know who's asked that question?
Steve, if you want to unmute yourself and come on and help clarify, that'd be great.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, so the question, it's more around the API, which you said you haven't got yet, but I have a number of other pieces of software that create usage, which I would like to put through as a product line in the invoice that goes to my clients during the month. So
do you need to get the purchase data out for the product that you want to update, or do you need the card data to just recharge?
No, so I've got a piece of software that does something else apart from GHL, which I've integrated, and I want some usage information from my other SaaS product to then be added to the bill that goes out from, say, Numeric.
So so in simplicity's sake, you want to be able to add a line item for that usage to maybe an invoice or a payment form.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. We might have to talk about that offline because I just want to understand how you're tracking that usage and how we could pass that data. I mean, I think it's entirely possible, but I don't want to like blow smoke and say I can do it tomorrow for you.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. If I understand you correctly, I think it's entirely doable.
Okay. Yep, we should talk.
Fantastic. So we've got a couple of people asking if we can see a demo of the system itself. If you're able to, Josh.
Yeah, let me change some screens around here real quick. Hold on.
All right.
Okay, so let's share screen again. All right, so hopefully my screen's now viewable.
Yep.
So this is our software, right? So like I was saying, I actually took out the GHL payments tab here and just put my own tab in, right? It's a custom menu link. That also means you can get to our software from anywhere, right? You just have to be able to log in somewhere online and you can get to it. So we actually have some of our agency owners have passed this on to their clients, like plumbers and stuff, and they just open it up on a tablet out in the field, do their work, and send the invoice right from there. So the view that you're looking at right now is just product creation. Okay, you can create a product. It can be a one-time product. It can be a recurring product. Okay, You can add the cost, product name, all the normal features. You can add tags to products, and that's how we fire automation. So this becomes infinitely flexible for you. You can actually add multiple tags. You can add setup fees. You can actually change the setup fee instructions. So you can reword this essentially however you want to reword it, and add taxes, give it a description. The trials are not limited either. So this is any day above 1, really. You can have a trial period. You can then change the trial instructions. We, of course, have default information. And then this is the sort of SaaS configurator, if you will. You can create a user to a location. You can revoke their access, pick a snapshot. I'm connected to a different location at the moment, but you can pick a snapshot, pick a role, user admin, right? And then pick all the permissions. So this is where I was saying, right? I could uncheck them all and sell a SaaS product just for content AI, right? Or I could just do the social planner or something to that effect, right? I'm sure your mind knows exactly how you could do what you want it to do. But that's the SaaS configurator. Now, as soon as you have that product out there, then anybody buys it, right? It sends the credentials, so on and so forth. So that's a quick overview of product creation. We have our own payment forms. So what we do with payment forms, right, is we created our own form. This is now a completely hosted form. You can't do this in GHL, by the way. Stripe, you can do it, but in GHL, you can't. So you create a product, put it on a payment form. Now I have a link. I could attach that to a QR code. I could send it out in a text, another automation. I can get this in front of somebody. And because you can completely customize this, right? This is just our default view. Change the colors, add different fields. You can add custom fields to this. Then this hosted payment form even becomes its own sort of landing page, if you will, right? But you have complete control over that. If I were to edit this, I'll just show you quickly. 1 step or 2 step, you can have thank you messages versus redirect to a branded landing page. I can add multiple products. I can add bump products. I can change the order button. I can turn on cart mode where I can sell multiple quantities of something. I can add a tip collection field, terms and conditions, coupons. I can sort my own products. I'm not beholden to, an auto sort feature. I can add taxes where you can do CSS. I can actually add a calendar to the payment form that is not one product, but as many products as I wanted. So let me paint a picture. Let's say you were a yoga studio or you were an agency that sold for or that supported yoga studios, and there was a weekly class, right? Now we've got all those calendar options in GHL. You could add, right, a recurring calendar to this and sell a seat for that class that would rebill them every week if you wanted to. I mean, you could rebill them once a month as well, but they could pay for it and book it and, right, through automations, get all their reminders about their classes. So that's a quick look at payment forms. We've got custom fields, coupons, taxes. You can see every purchase in the system. I can select by date range, so I can pull reports. I can select by status. I can select by customer and what a customer would have, an individual customer. I can search by their card number. So if somebody's like, hey, I bought something with you, I need to get a refund. You can search by that card number and go through that process. In subscriptions, you can see all subscriptions. You can cancel or pause from here. And then the edit feature is, I got to get to a different screen, but you can edit the subscriptions. We're adding another feature that's due out on Tuesday that will let you actually pause the subscription based on a calendar date. So you can pause it indefinitely, or you can pause it and have it resume on a calendar date. You don't have to remember to do that. Now there was a question about invoices. So if I go to my invoices, I can see paid and unpaid invoices, but let's just create one really quickly. So this will pull in the contacts, right, from your CRM. I add a contact, and then I can add products, right? And then this all becomes editable. I can edit this as much as I want. I can add another product to it. So I've got multiple line items. I can change the unit cost. I can add a discount, right? All of that keeps working. I can have default notes. I can have signatures, terms and conditions. We have recurring invoices. And then let's take a quick look at quotes. In the quotes, again, it's very similar. You can see what's active, but let's take a look at one just to see what it looks like. This is what I was talking about, accept or reject. If I accept this, it turns into an automatically payable invoice. So now I can go pay by credit card. Okay, great. Here's my card details. Away we go. All of this data, by the way, right? So that was a unique link. If we look at this, that was a unique public link that I have. All of that, once you create it, gets pushed to the contact record into a custom field, which means you can either use our system to auto send stuff or the GHL system to auto send stuff. Our system, you can customize the emails. The GHL system, you can get even nuttier with the customization. And I know I went really fast, and I'm sure people will have more questions, but there's a quick demo of the numeric software.
Yeah. So, and another point that I want to touch on is in coupons, there's also, you can create coupons on recurring items as well, which is a lacking item on GHL side right now, where it only gives you the ability to create a coupon on one-off products. With numeric, you have both options, one-off and as well as recurring.
And then you can expire them after usages, never expire them. You could expire them after, so they'll just only have valid dates. And then I can pick, yeah, right. I can pick any product, including recurring products, to add them to.
Yeah. All right, fantastic. We've got about 9 minutes left. We'll continue to answer questions. So if you've got any other questions, feel free to throw them in the chat, and we'll keep going through them as we do. You answered this already, but just to confirm so that everyone hears about it, he did mention that everything, anytime someone makes a purchase here, that person does end up as a contact inside your high level as well. The workflows can fire off directly from high level from that point onwards. Also. Correct.
Yep, correct. You'll get a, hold on. Whoop. Let's get to the right screen here. That's not it. There we go. Yeah, you have, so we have a whole contact list. So you can actually create contacts in our system or the GHL system. The two systems will talk. Okay. But as long as somebody exists in GHL, which you can create from our side. So if somebody's never bought from you before, they buy from this payment form, it automatically creates a contact in our system and the GHL system. And then as long as you've tagged the product that they purchased, it will fire that automation, the receipt, membership access, reminder, emails, text message, whatever it is you built in that automation, it will fire it off to them.
All right. Ryan's asking, are there any features that the native setup with Stripe can do that numeric cannot? I don't
rebilling. That's the biggest one that people ask about. Yeah, just the wallet feature in GHL with Stripe.
Yeah, so rebilling is the only one, but that's coming in Q4. Right now, there are simple and easy workarounds to that as well, like Josh explained earlier. But there are definitely several that numeric can that the native system with Stripe and GHL cannot do yet. One of them being the recurring coupons we were just talking about. And another big one is unlimited SaaS plans. You can, and you're not necessarily locked down to features either. You can offer one particular feature on one plan and just give them that, and you can create as many plans as you want.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Calendly did, right? They niched all the way down to calendars, and they sell that at what, like $35 a month or whatever it is they sell it for at the starting rate. So yeah, you're not limited on the SaaS side of what you want to put in your SaaS product.
Yeah. Simon asked, can I embed the order form into my funnels?
Absolutely, 100%. Let me.
We did an event for Alex Shilinsky, POD, Prospecting on Demand. All of the payments for the ticket sales taken for that event was through numeric.
So this is our numeric funnel. This is just like, you could actually go in and test this today. So it's right on our homepage. I just went to numeric.com and I clicked test our system, right? And it lands on this page, and this is our payment form. You can actually use this test credit card or bank account number, because you can try a credit card or check, right? And you can see exactly how it will work.
And there you go. That's another one that you can also get people to pay you through ACH, which is huge for recurring subscriptions, because you have less denials, declines, cancellations, because the card did not go through. ACH much more reliable in comparison, and that's something that the Stripe and high level system doesn't have natively yet.
Right.
All right. Zach is asking, earlier you said Stripe pulls into their account and then goes to our account. This is a little bit long one. So, but your system pulls from CC and then puts it into our account directly. One, do I have that right?
Right to, I guess I want to clear, right to just take one thing or just determine where you want to deposit it.
Zach, if you're still on, I'd like you to just unmute yourself and come on, and let's ask that question and get it clarified.
Yeah, I was just asking if it has to do, like when somebody does a transaction, is it directly deposited into our account, or is there still that third party involved like Stripe?
No, there isn't. So you asked a really good question. So the way payments work, the short answer is no, there's no third party. The way payments work when you have a fully underwritten merchant account is you have there's 3 steps to the process upstream and then 3 on the downstream. You have a payment vehicle that takes payment, it goes through a gateway, it goes to the processor. The processor goes, hey, does that person have enough money on their card to make that payment? The person whose card is owned says, yep, here's your authorization code. Then it goes back downstream, approves the transaction. That all happens in a matter of seconds, okay? Depending upon your internet speed. What's happened in that transaction is now one bank said to the other bank, we've got enough money to pay you. The other bank said, great, send the money. And it just gets sent. So there is no middleman in terms of it goes into somebody's account. They have to reconcile it with every other transaction that came into that account for millions of other users. It just goes from issuing bank to acquiring bank is what it's called.
Okay, so how does that work? Like if I have a couple of clients who've already brought up the whole Stripe situation, does it come into our, like my bank account, my agency account?
No, that's a better way to ask that question. No, it does not come into your bank account. They have their own individual merchant account. So think of Numeric in terms of the whole setup as sub accounts for like GHL. So any client that you might want to recommend come to us to help with payments, they already have their own sub account in your GHL. We would add that payment feature into theirs. So all that business would just transact through their own Numeric account. It would be deposited into their account straight away.
Copy that. Thanks.
Yep.
All right, fantastic. James is asking, does it integrate with Xero?
No, we've been looking at that. We're hearing more about it. We're a lot like GHL. Like if there's enough people that ask for it, we'll build it.
All right. How about QuickBooks?
We have a limited integration with QuickBooks at the moment. It's not a two-way sync, if you will. What we've done with QuickBooks so far is a lot of people like to use it for invoicing because they can also use it to track inventory if they have a physical type of product. So the way the integration works now is you can actually create an invoice in QuickBooks, click save and send. It will send through our system, but it's our payment link, not the QuickBooks payment link. The customer makes payment, it updates QuickBooks, and away you go as soon as it's paid.
All right.
We'll work on a deeper integration a little bit later. We already have all the pieces figured out. We just got to do it.
Cool. Michael's asking, do payouts happen at once, or can they be paid out by item? The way, example, when Stripe pays out or reconciling is a nightmare. No, I think across all payment industries, if I'm not mistaken, and Josh, feel free to correct me if I am, payouts do happen at once, and you do have the ability to reconcile within the platform. I think when it comes to your bank account, you're going to see a chunk of money coming in from all the sales that have happened during that payout period.
That's correct. It's called batching. they want to batch as much as they can. So what happens is the payment comes in, it gets settled, meaning the two banks talked, they agreed on the money that was going to get settled, and then all payments in a certain settlement period get batched together and deposited as a batch. So you can take 10,000 payments in a day, but if you took half of that before the cutoff and settlement time frame and the other half after, then your batch is not going to be 10 grand. It's probably going to be 5 and 5 for simplicity's sake.
Yeah. Fantastic. In Canada, the tax varies according to the location of the buyer. Is the calculation of the tax done automatically in numeric or for Canadian accounts?
No, currently it's manual, but we do have a bit of the code written to make it dynamic, so it will know geographically where people are at. Not quite there.
Okay. How do we handle disputes and chargebacks?
Yeah, hot topic, right? You'll handle them through the system with our support. So there is a digital way to handle it. It's how everybody across the board is handling chargebacks. The difference is you have me as a resource. Depending upon your volume, I'll recommend some additional softwares. We don't own them, we just recommend them to help you with that, because in chargebacks, speed of response and then how you respond is critical. It is possible to win chargebacks. We have clients that win them all the time. What I tend to see is people get frustrated, which is understandable because they've sold somebody a product, they've done setup, like they've put effort into it, and then somebody goes, it's basically the buyer on the other end's committing fraud, if you're asking me honestly, saying, oh, I didn't get it, when we know full well they got it, they logged in, right, they used the service. And so we help you with that. It is all done digitally. We show you exactly where to upload it, how to upload it, who you can talk to. So there's support there for you. It's not just talk to this chat bot.
All right, fantastic. Any split payments or for splitting sales with course teachers?
Yeah, that's actually on the roadmap. So I'll give you, for those who may have been following us for a little while now, a quick update. We've got the UI built, in the back-end architecture is in process of being built. For those who are not familiar with what we're talking about, this is where you can have payment for, let's say, $100 product. And on the back end, when that product was set up, there's at least 2 providers to the product. A lot of people could think of this in terms of drop shipping, right? And what we do on the back end is split that payment. Let's just say it's split 50-50. We would have allowed you to configure the product to split it between merchant A and merchant B. The payment comes in, the customer is charged one time, but they get 2 line items so they know who they've bought from, right? Which would cut down on disputes, and then money gets deposited into both accounts separately. So that's coming. We figure we're probably into the first part of Q4 for that.
Okay, so that's coming soon there. All right, guys, we're a few minutes after. Thank you very much for everyone joining us. Hopefully we were able to educate you a bit more on payments today. And if there's any questions, feel free to reach out to us or post your questions in the Extendly Facebook group, or matter of fact, grab a call with Josh himself. Josh, how does someone get a call with you?
Yeah, you can go, well, the best way to book a call with me would be to go to numeric.com/demo.
All right.
So numeric.com/demo, and you can book a call with me. I will say, I think I saw a bunch of people go to this, like, fantastic. Give me like 10 minutes to get back to you. I mean that in all seriousness. Like, I think there were quite a few people that filled out the form on the other end of this, and I'll work diligently to get to you as fast as humanly possible. But yeah, numeric.com/demo. Happy to answer questions.
All right, fantastic, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Josh, thank you so much for taking your time out.
Do you want a proven way to increase your lead generation on your website and sales funnels, as well as add an additional revenue stream to your agency? Check out www.shadhq.io today and start your free account.